Barry Atz, who's an attorney at law and tax consultant at JD Salley and Company, and we're going to be talking about tax. So Barry, I know this topic is one perhaps a lot of people like to avoid.
That's right.
So tell me more about the importance of tax for your business and the growth of your business.
Well, the thing is, I always believe that you've got to start thinking about where you actually want to go. Mm-hmm. So if you're a company and you're just starting out, you're thinking you want to make some profits, and that's fine. But the thing is, when you become a big company, you think more in terms of not the profits that you make, but the profits you'll keep. And that's where tax comes in, mm-hmm. because there are actually two kind of concepts as far as profit's concerned. There is profit before tax, and then there's profit after tax. Now, the large companies, when they come to the Caribbean and they want to do an investment, they expect they're going to make profit. So what they actually think about is, how do I plan my affairs so that I get the most for shareholder value? And that's where profit after tax comes in, and that's where I come in. Mm-hmm. I basically come in and I would help to explain, based on the system, based on the laws, based on the type of business you're in, how maybe the best way of structuring your affairs so that you can literally keep that. Because at the end of the day, it's all very well making profit, but it's what you keep.
Right.
It's what you want.
Of course.
That's it.
Great. So what would the most frequently asked questions that small business have about tax?
Well, I suppose, obviously the first thing they may ask is, what's the rate of tax? Mm-hmm. In Trinidad, it's 25%. It's a flat rate. Mm-hmm. They may ask in terms of VAT. There's been recent changes to the VAT Act, and the rate is 12.5%. They may say, how much business do I need to generate in order to qualify for VAT registration? It's 500,000. They may also say, in terms of where Trinidad is located in the Caribbean, how many double tax treaties do we have? Are we partners with the United States and countries in Europe? And yes, in Trinidad, we're very well positioned. Mm-hmm. We have a number of double tax treaties. So these are some of the questions that are basically asked. Also, in terms of one of the first things as well would be, the practicalities of it. Like, for example, how long does it take to get a VAT number or a BIR number? And it's between 4 days to 2 weeks. So these are the kind of questions that are often asked. So. And then in terms of what the general filing requirements are per year and so on.
So is there any business advice that you would have for entrepreneurs that are perhaps now starting their business?
Well, the thing is with tax and a new business, it's not like a cookie cutter approach. It does depend on the type of business the person is in. So if, for example, someone is in manufacturing, the government has certain incentives in place for manufacturers. So it really comes down to thinking about the type of business that you're in and then getting customized tax advice for that specific business. For example, in the energy sector, there again, it's a special regime there. Now, obviously, the people who are getting involved in our situation won't necessarily be in that sector. They probably will be maybe manufacturing or in retail, and maybe they will be exporting to other countries in the region or externally. And again, in that context, they'd be very interested in knowing what's the best way of dealing with a specific country, how to structure their affairs, or is it good to have a subsidiary, how are dividends taxed? These are the kind of things that will commonly be asked, and why it's good to get tax advice up front, because the thing is, it's better to organize your structure properly from the get-go than to be focused in making a lot of money, a lot of profit, and then thereafter you're trying to clean up these things that could have been structured properly from the beginning.
And that could really hamper somebody from if they were selling their business in the future as well, correct?
Exactly right.
Great. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Oh, no problem.
Learned a lot.
Thank you.
Take care.